SNAP 2016, the dates are already out. It is 18th of December, just 2 weeks after CAT and 3 weeks after IFT. And in most likely cases, most of the students would have also appeared for NMAT 2016 by the time you reach SNAP 2016. Let us understand what SNAP 2016 has on cards. First of all, let us try to understand the exam pattern. Exam pattern has been changed slightly this year. So, there is element of reasoning which used to be quite dominant till last year has been reduced from 60 marks to 40 marks. Earlier it was 30 questions, 2 marks each, 60 marks, almost carrying 1/3 of the weightage of the entire exam. This has been reduced to 40 questions and 1 mark each, so that is total of 40 marks. There is another minor change, that is GK, which is now known as current affairs, will be 30 questions 30 marks instead of 40 questions 40 marks as compared to last year. Overall, it will still remain 150 questions and 150 marks. As compared to last year, it was 180 marks and 150 questions. Total duration remains same, that is 120 minutes. Let us start understanding each section in detail. First of all, current affairs. As I just mentioned, till last year it was known as general knowledge, this year it is current affairs. So, the expectation is very clear. Unlike last year where almost 60 to 70% of the question was static in nature, this year we can expect completely different pattern. It is also mentioned that most of the questions will be asked on the basis of last 2 years current affairs. So, we have to be really careful. One needs to start working on the updates from last 2 years. Second section is analytical and logical reasoning. Again, there has been a drastic change in the pattern. So, we can expect both the changes, a level of difficulty wise also and the breakup of the question wise also. Last year also we observed that some of the questions were very unconventional in nature. So, there were questions based on your possibility of your imaginations, there were questions based on even the standard questions which looks like the series based question had a lot of complications. The couple of questions based on coding, decoding were also literally weird. So, there were students who ended up wasting 3 to 4 minutes in such questions. This year we cannot say that the pattern will be repeated, but because the question weightage has gone down from 2 marks to 1 marks and the number of questions has gone from 30 to 40, we can at least expect that there will be more standard questions than the unconventional ones, though we have to be mentally prepared for unconventional questions as well. Third section, verbal ability and reading comprehension, typically believed to be the easiest one to score with an exception of SNAP 2015 of course. What we can expect this year is, if I go by the tradition of last 4 or 5 years, the weightage on comprehension has been less. So, out of 40 questions you cannot expect more than 8 to 10 questions on comprehension, but there has been a consistent weightage on vocabulary. So, even if you look at last year, in spite of such an odd pattern, there were around 14 to 15 questions on vocabulary. Within vocabulary, a good amount of variety, be it analogies, be it word usages, be it foreign words and phrases, okay, almost all varieties have been covered. So, we can again expect that the stress on vocabulary will be really high this year. A good weightage on grammar based questions as well, not to forget the application of verbal ability, which is parajumbles, logical continuation, discontinuation and critical reasoning. Though since last 2 years they have not been asking critical reasoning, but other standard questions on parajumbles and logical continuation can definitely be expected this year as well. And the last section, content DI, favorite of majority of SNAP takers, no change in the pattern, 40 questions, 40 marks. If you look at the past records, there have been a negligible weightage of DI. So, mostly you can expect 1 or 2 sets at max. Surprisingly, there were no DS questions in last 1 or 2 years, but we never know, you can expect it this year. Majority of the cont based questions were very standard and conventional in nature. So, what you require is a very high speed and with a good accuracy rate. So, we can expect a similar pattern this year in 2016 as well. Now, let us move to next part of the discussion, that is how to prepare on all these sections. Let us again start with current affairs. As they have categorically mentioned that they will be asking questions based on the current affairs of last 2 years, what we can expect is questions based on various government schemes. This has been the trend observed in almost all the exams, competitive entrance exams that has been conducted in last 1 or 2 years, be it at post 12th level or be it graduation or post graduation level, or be it civil service exams. question based on the government schemes, detailing the key points, highlights of a different government scheme has been the focus in almost all the exams. So this is one thing which you should definitely cover. Second is, being an MBA entrance exam, there will be definitely a stress on business and economics. There has been a great change, a lot of new policies has been implemented. There is a GST which has already been tabled in Parliament. So a lot of developments in the business and economic side. So do not forget to work on that as well. Third is international affairs. There has been a lot of development happening with the current government working closely with countries like China, US, Russia, even Japan and France. So we can see there are a lot of summits being happening, a lot of agreements being signed by government. So this can be one of the areas where generally a majority of the student might miss out, but if you want to really score good in current affairs, do not miss out on this section. Fourth area can be sports. We all know that we just concluded Olympics 2016. There was a poor performance by our country, but then there was another Olympics for a differently abled person where India performed really well. So this is something which a lot of people miss out on. You ensure that you do not miss out on a single question based on sports. There has been a World Cup that happened last year, both football as well as cricket, and both of these are very big events when you look at Indian perspective. Fifth area which you need to really work on is technology. There has been a drastic change in the way we have communicated in last 2-3 years. So there has been a good platform that has come up, and not just in communication technology but also in automobile and other areas. Space technology is one area which needs to be covered. Last but not the least is the political developments, that is elections happening in and around. So in last 1 or 2 years there has been a lot of demographic changes, political changes in different zones. Okay, so this can be another likely area. So if you look at the breakup of 30 questions, we can expect almost equal division among all the 5-6 areas that I just discussed. Along with all the areas I mentioned, do not forget to cover who's who of the various celebrities, various people, especially somebody who has written popular books or received awards recently or has been in news for right or wrong reasons. Now let us talk about analytical and logical reasoning. Again, a section where there has been a change. If we go by last 2 to 3 years pattern, first thing that you need to work on, get coverage of the standard question. Last year out of 30 questions, a good student could have attempted 20 to 22 questions only. Whereas this year, if we expect 40 questions to be in total, we should be looking at a target of 25 to 30. And for that, the first 10 to 15 questions should come up very easily, and that too in less amount of time. We have a provision of 40 to 45 minutes. So we have to ensure that first 10-12 question is covered within first 12 to 15 minutes. For that, coverage on standard arrangement based questions, puzzle based questions, Venn diagram based questions, and standard coding or direction sense based questions is important. Secondly, for unconventional questions, like question based on sports and games, question based on visual reasoning, question based on imagination, question based on structuring the data or information. This is something which anyways you will be working for CAT, and hence those type of questions will be covered through CAT preparation. So you need not prepare anything additionally. There will be 1 or 2 surprises, but then you can also give them surprise by not attempting those questions. Third section, which can be broadly classified into 2 parts, verbal ability and reading comprehension. Now, as far as reading comprehension or comprehension based questions are concerned, like parajumbles, logical discontinuation, critical reasoning, these type of questions will be anywhere covered during your CAT preparation. You would be working for really good type of good quality questions on RC. So there isn't a dedicated program which is required for SNAP, but vocabulary and grammar is one area which generally a lot of students miss out during CAT preparation, because if you look at the history of CAT, vocabulary has been negligible. In fact, last year there was no question on vocabulary or grammar. So there will be a tendency of student to miss out on vocabulary and focus only on comprehension. This strategy may not work in SNAP, because the weightage of comprehension based questions will be not more than 10-12 out of 40. Traditionally, this has been a scoring section. A lot of people would be getting 25 or 30 out of 40. So if you want to stay competitive, you cannot miss out on vocabulary and grammar based question. Try working out on word usages, antonyms, synonyms, foreign words and phrases. Last year there were questions based on converting sentences from American usage to British usage. So, this is one area where it will be very difficult to find out a formal source of preparation, but if you have sufficient exposure, you will be able to capitalize on such question. Not to forget the question based on figure of speech and analogies, sometimes filling the blanks also. As far as grammar is concerned, there is a decent weightage consistently since last 3-4 years. So, this is one area where you need to constantly keep revising the concepts of grammar. This is one area where there will be lot of silly mistakes. So, please ensure that you revise all the exceptions along with the rules of grammar. Fourth section, that is quantitative and data interpretation, has remained the most consistent and most scoring section so far. Though less weightage on DI is given, as far as quant is concerned, mostly all standard questions are covered. You can try working on the easier questions first. The simple strategy can be to cover the standard questions. Again, try getting 10 to 12 correct in first 10 to 12 minutes, so that you can invest around 15-20 minutes for rest of the questions. A good attempt can be anywhere between 25 to 30 with a good accuracy level. Understanding the change in the pattern, we can safely say that quantitative section should also be a very high attempt and high accuracy kind of an approach. This will help you to attempt around 110 to 120 questions in 120 minutes, and by that logic you will be able to reach somewhere close to 90 to 100 as a net score. This should be safe enough for you to apply into top B schools associated with Symbiosis. Finally, do not miss out on applying to the right colleges associated with Symbiosis. There is a huge bouquet of more than 15 colleges. There are colleges which provide general management or specialized management. There are colleges like providing telecom management, information technology, banking and finance. So, apart from general management courses, ensure that you have a bouquet of at least 4 to 5 colleges, which can give you a chance of getting a call from at least 1 or 2 colleges, even if you are in the range of 90 percentile or a 98 percentile. All the best for SNAP 2016.